comes Cox. He's got the strong leg. This one hangs high in the direction of Levitt. He drops it at the 2. Is down at the 5 as the Redskins are down in good shape. Ken Jenkins was the first man down. They are down now at the 4. Steve Pallure will start at quarterback. He got the last-minute instructions from Tom Landry. He'll be looking at that defensive line. Charles Mann and Dexter Manley, the defensive ends, and Butts and Dean Hamill, the tackle. The linebackers, Calvin Daniels starting. Olkowitz in the middle for as long as he can hold up. And Rich Malott is the other. The secondary, Green and Dean, the corners. Coffey and Jordan, the safety men. Mike Renfro starting for the Cowboys, split left. This is Tony Dorsett, stopped for a loss perhaps of 2. Dexter Manley and Neil Olkowitz. It is a loss of 2. Here's the Dallas offense, redone a little bit. Dorsett starting after resting for 2 weeks. Pallure, the quarterback. Newsom, the other running back, and Hill and Renfro, the wide receivers. Up front, Tuinay and Pozderac are the new tackles. Titans Rafferty and Kerr in the middle, and Doug Cosby is the tight end. It'll be 2nd and 12. Confusion. Down is Pallure. Penalty marker down in the end zone. It was Manley all over Pallure, and that would be a safety were it not for the penalty flag.
Tell you, Dexter Manley looked like he was shot out of a cannon. You know, they started 2 new tackles today, as you said, Mark Tuinay and Phil Pozderac. Mark Tuinay, the left tackle, has to block Manley.
Start offense.
Things are not starting off on a very positive note for the Dallas Cowboys. Jim Tunney again is the referee, one of the best.
Dexter Manley's number 72. Oh, he started before the ball was snapped. No wonder he got by Tuinay. They just called it a false start.
Now I think they might have changed this to safety.
I think it has to be safety unless the whistle blew before the play, or if the penalty were against Dallas. That has to be a safety. They can't just leave the ball there. It's either a safety or a penalty against the Redskins.
Was offense. The play was ruled dead. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, the Redskins were confused because their defensive unit came off the field.
Well, what this has to mean is that they blew the whistle. What they're saying is that the offensive tackle moved, and what that says they blew the whistle before the ball was snapped.
Which is exactly what they've ruled.
The guy they're talking about is right here, is Mark Tuinay. Does he move before the ball snapped? See, now Manley can move. The defensive guy can move. Tuinay moved right there before the ball was snapped, so they called it on him and blew the whistle, I guess.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Remember back at the beginning of that play, there was some confusion in the backfield. Here's Pallure handing off straight ahead. Tony Dorsett barely gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's in the arms of Dave Butts.
That's a tough place to try and get out of the end zone, is by going over Big Dave Butts. The rule here, of course, is they have to get the ball outside that plane of the goal line, or it's going to be a safety. See right here, they run in there, Butts gets penetration, and I'll tell you, just by falling forward, the Cowboys saved 2 points there.
Dorsett has come out, and Herschel Walker has replaced him. Herschel, number 34. 3rd and 14. Walker moves, so does Newsom. Pallure back to throw. In the end zone. Coming out in the direction of Tony Hill. Covered by Barry Wilburn, and now the penalty flags are down again.
I think that's going to be against the Redskins. I think it's going to be one of those defensive holdings, which will be an automatic 1st down for the Cowboys.
Defense number 45.
That's on Wilburn, who was covering Tony Hill.
Hey, that's one way to get out of there.
Ooh.
Watch it. It's going to be right here at the left-hand side of the screen. You see him there. I think it had to happen before that because there was nothing wrong right there. I think it was as they were running for the ball.
There's the referee going to the pocket for the flag. Dorsett is back now. Walker is out. It's Dorsett and Newsom. First down Cowboys as they escape near disaster. Early. Valor back. The Renfro. That'll be enough for a first down. It almost knocked him down. Barry Wilburn again on the coverage. Wilburn playing in place of Bernardine.
You know, that's the type of thing that Mike Renfro does so well, is one of those possession-type passes, those, you know, the hooks, the ins, the outs, those things about 12 yards. Then he lulls them to sleep a lot, too. You know, they start to think that he won't go deep, and then boom, he flies by him.
First and 10 at the 30. The handoff is to Dorsett, and he barely, again, makes it back to the line of scrimmage. Dean Hamill was the first Redskin to hit him. Dorsett missed the last 2 weeks. It was the first time in his NFL career he'd missed back-to-back games. He still is not quite right.
Well, you know, he wasn't even sure that he'd be able to play at all. They tried a knee brace, and he wore the knee brace in practice Wednesday, and he said he hated it. So he took it off Thursday, didn't practice the rest of the week with it, and isn't wearing one today.
Here's the package that everybody talked about. Dorsett and Walker together. Valor fakes. He's got Walker deep if he can get the ball to him. And he does. And Walker breaks out of the grasp of the tacklers. Walker inside the 10. Walker out of bounds at the 1.
Cowboys were impressed with Herschel Walker. They knew he could run. They didn't know he was such a good receiver. See, Valor picks this up by being able to scramble. Walker was deep, going to the post. He was wide open. Then Valor finally found him. Watch him here. Walker's behind the defense. The defense is confused. He keeps going. And finally, Valor finds him, throws one a little short, but it goes right between the two Redskin defenders.
And Walker broke the tackles and is out of bounds at the 1. First and goal, Dallas. Walker and Newsom in the backfield. Cosby in motion. And off Walker. He doesn't get in. Dave Butts hit him first.
Joe Gibbs is standing there. He's wondering about that pass interference. I mean, they start off so well, have them backed up, third down, they get the pass interference, and that gives. Well, that's the thing that gave the Cowboys this new life. Tom Landry said, gee, after last week against the Broncos, we needed some kind of break.
Well, they got that big one that you just talked about, and then Valor was able to scramble, buy some time, and get the ball to Walker. It's second and goal from the 1. Walker and Newsom. Here's Herschel Walker. He's in.
Watch Crawford Kerr, as you say, back to right guard. He's number 68. He pulls on to the right. Now Herschel Walker's going to get right in behind him right there. Now watch Kerr. He's going to throw his body right here. The minute he does, the defender goes down, and Walker cuts right inside off that block.
Seppi in the kick. Pull over. Extra point is good, and Dallas, after what looked like early disaster, comes out of it leading 7-0. 7 plays, 95 yards, 1-yard touchdown run right there by Herschel Walker. 13 left to play in the first quarter. They went 95 yards in 7 plays. Walker scored the touchdown on a 1-yard run, his 6th touchdown of the season. Here's the big play. There is Steve Valor, who threw the big pass to Walker. And we'll go back and look at that pass interference penalty in a minute.
watch. Here's a pass interference. There was Tony Hill. You see down here in the bottom against Barry Wilburn. Now, Wilburn looks like to me that he has position. Now, the official throws that right after that. Now, I think if the defender has position, that the offensive guy can't go through him.
It's history. Cowboys lead 7-0. Septien's kickoff settles in the arms of Ken Jenkins at about the Washington 14. A flag is down. Jenkins has got some room. Jenkins is still on his feet, still going. Tripped up finally by Darrell Flack. And the flag is down back at the Redskin 20.
You remember last night talking to Coach Joe Gibbs. He said the two things. He said we don't make mistakes. He said we haven't had turnovers, not a lot of penalties. So far in this game, he's had 2 killer penalties.
Boy, how things change around. We thought it was going to be 2-0 Redskins, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 Dallas. They're going to bring that one back.
Half the distance to the goal line is 10 yards and a first down.
This is a tough thing in the open field. There it is. Right there is the clip, blocking from behind. That's a tough thing. That happens so often on the kick returns. The guy did do it. It is legitimate.
Yep. Danyak is number 26. There's Bill Bates over on the Cowboys sideline, not playing. And he can hardly walk earlier today. Art Monk was the move man. This is George Rogers. Rogers, room up the middle. Jeff Rohr finally stopped in. Here's the Dallas defense. Up front, Jones, Dutton, Randy White back playing after sitting out most of last week against Denver. And Jeffcoat up front. The 3 linebackers are Hegman, Eugene Lockhart, and Jeff Rohr. And in the secondary, Walls, Fellows, Vince Albritton instead of Bill Bates, and Michael Downs. 2nd down and about 2. Redskins at their own 18. That's Rogers, and he has the Washington first down, tripped up by Ed Jones and John Dutton. Let's look at the Redskin offense now. Up front, or rather behind, Schrader the quarterback, Rogers the lone setback, Art Monk, Gary Clark the wide receivers. They operate with 2 tight ends basically. Warren and Didier, and that's the offensive line. 1st and 10 Washington. Clark slip wide to the left. Schrader gives again to Rogers, and he barrels over the left side for about 4. Stopped by Dutton and White.
You know, when you barrel over the left side of that Redskin offense and you barrel in there behind Joe Jacoby, that's a real advantage. Number 66 there. He's so big that the back can get right in behind him as he did on that play. You know, you can't see. I mean, the defense is there, they're trying to see around, and by the time they're looking around, number 66, boom, that back's past him.
When you talk about your good offensive tackles, there is one of the best, Joe Jacoby.
I think Joe Jacoby's the best. He has an interesting thing that I've never seen. He puts his left foot back in a stance and his right hand down. Now, since day one, every coach will ever tell you, every line coach will say, if you put your left foot back, left hand down. Right foot back, right hand down. Jacoby got left foot back, right hand down.
That's one of those ideas that he and the offensive coach, Joe Bugle, came up with. They think,
well, they say
that is better for pass blocking.
In pass protection, it helps them in pass protection.
The crowd, we are told, someone in the crowd has a whistle, and that seems to be a reason for the delay. The police, how are you going to find a whistle in a crowd of 65,000? 2nd down and 7. Schrader, draw play to Rogers, and he again has some room. Rogers off to the races, stopped finally by Albritton and Downs. But another Redskin first down.
I'll tell you, that's the thing that you want to get. You want to get that end, Jim Jeffcoat, going up the field, then you run the draw beside him. Watch number 77 up here, the defensive guy. He's going to take a... Jacoby just pushes him, boom, right to the outside. There comes a draw right inside him. They just, in essence, let him go. Now you got the tackle as a lead blocker.
And now you got the first down. Redskins at their own 37 now. Outside. Derek Holloway was the receiver. It's incomplete. Everson Walls, the defender. Holloway limping back just a little bit. Jets over New England 7-0 first quarter. Johnny Hector scored the Jet touchdown. Maybe he just walks that way.
It'd be hard to run fast if you walk that way.
2nd and 10. Holloway and Monk both come wide right. They operate with 3 wide receivers. Clark is wide to the left. Didier is the flanker right. That's Monk in motion. Schrader back to throw. Has time. Gets it out to Monk. And Monk shakes a couple of tackles. Monk near midfield. Stopped finally by Everson Walls. But a gain of 12 and another Redskin first down.
I think Jay Schrader has only had 2 sacks all year. He's had 2 interceptions and a couple sacks, partly because of this pass protection. You know, we were talking about Joe Jacoby in that stance. Watch him against Jeffcoat here. Just gets his hand straight out, just rides him right to the outside. That's perfect pass protection. Just ride the guy right out, right on, beyond the quarterback.
The guy next to him is a pretty good player, too.
Russ Grimm.
He did a good job on Randy White. 1st and 10. Redskins at their own 48. Rogers runs the counter play again. This time, not much room. Vince Alberton is there to take him out of bounds with help from Eugene Lockhart. A gain of 2. Here is the famous Redskin play.
You know, you talk about Grimm. Watch Russ Grimm here. He has to block Randy White. White goes, boom, punches him right in the nose, and then Grimm takes the drive after that. So you have to take a little when you play a Randy White. Watch him. He steps, boom, takes that. Then Grimm gets right back into his blocking. You see that? You can take that punch, and then whap, come right back to blocking again.
2nd and 8. And the Cowboys adjust their defense. Smerrick took John Dutton's place. The pass is outside, and there's nobody home to Keith Griffin. Out of bounds finally by Michael Downs, but deep in Dallas territory. Obviously a mix-up on the cover.
You know what impresses me so much about Jay Schrader is, for as little as he played, he really has poise back there, and he sees things. He finds guys open. He looks downfield. He sees that there's no one out there on Griffin. In fact, it looked like there was a little pick inside there. And he finds that open guy that can give him the big play.
And they have a big first down. Rogers is back in the backfield now. They're at the Dallas 22. Quick count. Rogers straight ahead. Hit by Downs. Got inside the 20 for a gain of 4. That'll make it 2nd and 6 Redskins.
I think one of the things that the Redskins have always done well is have a couple of backs. You know, they would have the Riggins running, remember, and then Joe Washington years ago that would come in as a pass receiver. Now it's George Rogers as a runner. Keith Griffin comes in as a pass receiver.
Art Monk is split wide to the left, covered by Fellows. Clark is to the right. Fumble, and I don't know. Schrader, I think, got it back. He lost a couple. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 situation. Rogers comes out. Griffin goes in. Ironically, Jay Schrader, as most of you know, I'm sure, played 3 years of minor league baseball. And they talk about his poise, and he says that's the thing that helped him more than anything else.
Riding those buses in minor league baseball, and then you learn when you finally make it, make the big league, whatever sport it is, you appreciate it.
Makes you grateful. Schrader back to throw. Has time and almost had a man. No flags, and the Redskins Redskins are saying, hey, wait a minute. There should have been one. Jesse Penn was on the coverage. Pass was intended for Keith Griffin.
And, of course, this will be a Mark Mosley attempted field goal. The Redskins have that interesting thing where Mark Mosley still kicks the shorter field goals and Steve Cox a longer one. They say today that it's going to be about 47 yards. 47 yards or less, Mosley will kick. More than that, it'll be Steve Cox.
This will be 37, and it's Schrader holding for Mosley. No good. No good. High enough and far enough. The last couple of weeks have been tough for Mark Mosley. Cowboys continue to lead 7-0. Hovering overhead. And this has been the site of so many of those historic Redskin Cowboy games, as was the Cotton Bowl, and of course nothing like the Redskin Cowboy game at RFK Stadium in Washington. First and 10 Dallas from their own 20. The Dorsett, and Dorsett chased. He got a couple. That's about all. Olkowitz got him from behind.
You know, yesterday it was interesting when we were talking to Paul Hackett of the Cowboys, the assistant coach of the Cowboys, and he said that he's new here to the Cowboys, coming from the 49ers last year, but he said he didn't realize how important Tony Dorsett was to this team. He said until last week when he was on the sidelines of the street club, he said, I finally realized that the man on this team is Tony Dorsett.
Herschel Walker in the game and split wide to the left. Covered by Wilbur. Again, it's Dorsett, and there he goes. Alvin Daniels on the stop, but Dorsett got 11.
They had some pretty good blocking in there. Watch Dave Butch, number 65. They're going to run right inside of him. You see Crawford Kerr took him to the inside. And then the right tackle, Phil Pozderic, took his guy to the outside. So that made the hole between the guard and the tackle. That was a pretty good block by Crawford Kerr. He's a big guy, one of those big 300-pound guys.
He's one of the few guys that might match Butts inside. Here's Dorsett again. This time, Butts is there.
I'll tell you, the first time, I think Butts was taking an inside charge. But you can run at him once, but he's been around too long. Now watch him this time. Here they're going to run on him. That's Rafferty starting on him, and then Kerr trying to get it. Now there's like 600 pounds grunting in those things. Butts wins that one. See that? He just bumped Kerr back off.
Someone said at practice yesterday with Pozderic and Kerr together on the right side, the Cowboys have 580 pounds at right guard and right tackle, and then when you put Butts across from there, they'll move some dirt.
I think it's asphalt underneath artificial turf.
Whatever it is, they'll move it. Valor. Deep for Dorsett. Right. A perfect throw and good coverage by Kent Caulfield.
You know, that's one of the new things that the Cowboys are doing. You know, it used to be Tony Hill deep all the time. But now Tony Hill isn't their speed guy anymore. Their two speed guys are Tony Dorsett and Herschel Walker. So they're playing them at the outside receiver spots and trying to get them deep.
And they also have Mike Sherrard, who was their #1 draft choice. And he's in the game now.
And before it's over, he's going to be established as a deep threat.
Walker is in the slot to the left. Sherrard is wide to the right. They've got some firepower here. Third down. Valor out of the pocket. He'll get the first down. A gain of 11. Rich Malott made sure he stayed down.
Hey, Steve Fuller has found that. Watch this. Anytime you get a four-man rush, you have to stay in your lane. You see, they had the blitz. Now look at that lane right there. The opening to his right. Now everyone else is dropping back. The linebackers in the secondary, they've been run off. So if a line gives a lane that the quarterback can get through, it's almost an automatic first down.
Especially if you're as mobile as Fuller. Dorsett and Newsom now. the two running backs. Hand off Newsom, left side for about 4. Dexter Manley on the stop.
Hey, we talked to Dexter Manley last night, and he was a little fired up, wasn't he? He said that usually, he said, I like to, pop off about this game. He said, but we had so many injuries on defense, and we're starting some young players. He said, I didn't want to this week because I didn't want to put the pressure on them. So that's a good reason to keep your mouth shut. Not for yourself, sometimes for your buddies.
That's a team player, right? 2nd and 7. Walker's in the backfield now. Walker's out of the backfield. Walker has the first down.
I think it was interesting, Pat, when the Cowboys got Herschel Walker and they were able to sign him, everyone was saying, how do you play them both? Who's going to block? And they really didn't think of the passing. And the way the Cowboys are doing it is Walker's a receiver.
They've really done it very well. And everybody seems to be happy. Right now they are. It's first down. Cloud cover is perfect, and the weather is too. It's cool, about 50 degrees, and the Cowboys lead at 7-0 as we start quarter number 2. Dorsett and Newsom are the two runners. Sherrard and Hill are the wide receivers. Draw play to Dorsett. Dean Hamill. He had some daylight if he could have gotten away from Hamill, but it's a loss of 1.
We know those 4-man line defensive teams, as the Redskins are. In fact, today we have both teams a 4-man line. But they always have one guy who stays at home and takes care of that draw and screen. In the Redskins case, that's Dean Hamill.
2nd down and 11. Throwing down. Valor is going for the bundle. Intended for Sherrard. Covered by Barry Wilburn. Sherrard has tremendous hands.
One thing you can see are the Cowboys think that they can get deep in the Redskins. We've seen Sherrard go deep. We've seen Tony Hill try to go deep. We've seen both Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett go deep. That's one thing. The other thing is, I think with Vernon Dean out at right corner, the guy that they're trying to work on is Barry Washburn.
Wilburn.
Barry Wilburn. Wilburn Barry. That guy. Number 45. Redskin.
3rd and 11. Walker and Newsom this time. Back by Valor. Redskins come with a blitz. Walker's behind him again. Got to be a flag, and there are 2 of them, 3 of them. Rich Malott trying to cover him, and that's a mismatch.
I'll tell you one thing, I think the officials all agree on this one. They're all throwing flags down there. They're all standing proudly by him.
Pass interference. Defense number 57 goes down.
They always talk about the mismatch, trying to get your running back on their linebacker man-to-man. Well, they got it right there. Herschel Walker on Rich Malott. Now, had that ball been thrown properly, had it been out there, it's a touchdown. The fact that it was thrown short, that gave Malott a chance to get there and also a chance to interfere.
And it's a gain of 36, and it brings up first and goal from the 7. Dorsett to about the 4. Olkowitz on the tackle.
I'll tell you, just by adding Herschel Walker as an extra back, it's really giving these Cowboys another dimension. And like we're talking about, it's not just the running, but they split them out and pass to him, bring them in tight and pass to him. And Tom has a lot of different plays on that list now since he has Herschel Walker.
He's got a lot of more things he can do. Walker's in the game. Dorsett is out. 2nd goal from the 5. That's Walker in motion. Valor looking. Gets away from one. Fires incomplete in the end zone. Wise choice. He had nobody.
remember last week, the same position against the Denver Broncos? That's where he threw the interception. Now, it looked like Herschel Walker was one of his receivers here. Look, he thinks that he's going to get the ball there. See, he's waving. But that's not how you get open. I remember I used to tell my players, don't wave, just work. Get open. See, he's standing in the same place. There's defenders around him. It doesn't do you any good to wave. You got to run. Boom, boom, boom.
If you wave that much, you work at the half and before the game.
And you wave that much, and all you're doing is telling the defenders, come here I am.
That's Walker again on the move. That's Pallur to Newsom, but he doesn't get anything. Maybe a yard down to the 4, and they've got to go field goal now.
I think Tom Landry, you could see him over there. He was thinking that maybe they were going to think pass and rush, and you could pop something inside him. Tom says that one didn't work. The idea was pretty good, but it didn't work. The Redskins played good defense.
So Septien will try from 22 yards out with Pallur holding. 18 straight he's made at home from inside the 40. 21 yards officially, and the Cowboys officially lead 10-0 with 12:37 left in the first half. At Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Cowboys leading the Redskins, the unbeaten Redskins, 10-0.
Yeah, I tell you what a difference a week makes. You know, we saw Steve Pallur in that offense of the Cowboys last week, and they just kind of sputtered the whole game. But today, they've come out here, and they're really sharp.
That's what Tom Landry said last week after they lost to Denver. We just weren't very sharp.
Called them dulls. We were dull. Then he took it back during the week and said, not the defense and special team, just the offense was dull.
Septien to Ken Jenkins at the goal line. He's got some room again. Chased by Septien and Downs and out of bounds at the 43 by Michael Downs. Again, a penalty marker down. We are at Texas Stadium, second quarter with 12:25 left to play in the first half. And the Cowboys lead the Redskins 10-0. A 43-yard return this time by Jenkins, and again, the Redskins are going to be penalized.
Illegal block, number 78 on the return is 10 yards. First down.
I'll tell you, as you said, the Redskins have had 3 penalties this first half that have been killer. Had the pass interference on the third down play. They've had 2 big kickoff returns and have penalties on both of them.
78 is Dean Hamill, and that's who they designated as the violator. First down, Redskins. It looks like their own 16. Schrader back to pass on first down to Clark. He breaks one tackle and almost shook another one. Got away from Ron Fellows, and finally Jeff Rohr came out to bring him down. A gain of 14, first down, Washington.
Now watch Randy White, number 54. Every offensive lineman in the league will tell you that when they play against him, you can block him, but it's an all-day sucker. He's always punching, driving, hitting. But I think the Redskins are doing a pretty good job against him early.
I don't think he's quite right yet. Pulled a hamstring last week, and it doesn't look like he can really extend. Usually you can't. Those things take more time.
Yeah, there's never a hamstring in the history of hamstrings that are healed in a week.
There's the counter play, and there's Randy White. Maybe he healed quickly.
Well, you can move in a short distance. You see, on this one here, he's just moving in that guard box. Watch him, 54. He wins this battle here. He takes on Bostic, the center, with his left shoulder, just pulls him off, goes back inside him, and then with one arm, you know, you talk about strength. There's a guy, I mean, he got arms that look like legs, but you see him, he just took that left arm and went boom, and put Rodgers right in the ground.
Well, the 2 linebackers on that side are in the middle. Lockhart and Hegman made Rodgers cut back into White. You ought to give them some credit, too. Here's Schrader. He has some time. He's got a gun, too. Almost intercepted by Fellows, intended for Monk. Albritton was back there also.
I'll tell you one thing about this game, Pat, is that you don't see as much in the NFL as you used to, is deep passing. I mean, we've had Pallure on the other side throwing it deep and Schrader throwing it deep. These teams both feel that to win, you have to get big plays. You just can't work the ball down the field methodically against these defenses.
Well, I know that's always been your feeling, too.
I've always liked to do that. I mean, stretch the defense, make them play the whole field.
Even if it's incomplete.
That's right. That gives them something to think about.
Third down and 10. Redskins at their own 30. Schrader back to throw. Again, he has time. Again, he's trying to go deep. Everson Walls back with Gary Clark, and no flag. This is the first punt today coming up.
You know, Everson Walls this year doesn't have an interception. But, you know, he's one of those guys that really plays pretty solid. You don't get open a lot against Everson Walls. I think they were open for a flag on that one, but you have to give those defenders a little leeway.
Steve Cox back deep. Robert Levette back to the Cowboys. Levette has it bounced into his hands at his own 28. Dodges up to about the 30, and again the penalty markers come down. Terry Orr was down to make the stop. But the penalty flag is down. 41-yard punt by Cox. He didn't get it all. Against the Cowboys.
You know, that penalty's doing well today. That one on the kick. That's at least the fourth one we've had. That's kind of the special of the week.
Illegal block on the return. Number 59, 10 yards, first down.
That's against Jesse Penn. Number 59. We have 10:34 left to play in the first half, and Dallas leads Washington 10-0. The Goodyear Blimp, that was Texas Stadium, and now we're inside. Dallas 10, Washington nothing. 10:34 left in the first half. The Cowboys have the ball at their own 20. Redskins 5-0, Dallas 3-2. Renfro wide left, Tony Hill wide right. Dorsett takes the fake from Pallure. Tony Hill wide open. Covered by Darrell Green, but Tony Hill spun him around.
And Darrell Green was upset even before Tony Hill caught the ball. You see him here, he's playing tight coverage, gets his hand on him, then he starts inside, overreacts inside, then he had to spin back to the outside, and by that time Tony Hill caught the ball. He really, when he got his hand there, he really didn't have to react that far inside.
That's a pretty solid pattern there. Dorsett to the outside, knocked out of bounds at about the 34 by Darrell Green, and a gain of 4.
I think it's interesting that Dorsett said that he's either going to play the game without any braces and tape and all that stuff on, or not play it. You're a running back, like a big lineman. A big old lineman can have braces and stuff in their legs and play about the same because they don't need all the speed and quickness. But a guy like Dorsett who relies on it can't have that stuff, you know, holding him back.
2nd and 6. Pallure out to Newsom. Incomplete. Ken Coffey was out there with him. That ball he threw almost without even looking.
I'll tell you, because of Dexter Manley, watch him. He's going against Mark Tuinei there, and he's going to be coming on the backside. See that move? Gets a right hand on the back of his shoulder pad, pulls him, and then he did a takedown on Pallure. You know, one of those driving body slams. That's a pretty good move. Watch his right hand. Watch his right hand come up on two. See him right there? That grabbed him and pushed 2-8 by so that he could get past him. Good pass rush.
3rd and 6. The spread. Fuller gets it upfield to Newsom. Depending upon where they mark it, that's close. And Coffee on the stop. Tell you what, Herschel Walker got a pretty good block on this play.
I'll tell you, let's watch Manley again trying to get to Pelor. You know, after he got there the first time, he got that spell of it. He wanted to do it again. I'll tell you, he's going after that thing.
This is going to be close to a first down.
You know, Mark Tuinei was going against Manley, starting for the first time. Tom Landry said during the week, he told his assistant, I want the biggest, strongest tackles we got. So in comes Tuinei and Pozderic, and out goes Cooper and Richards.
First down, Manley said when we were talking to him last night, I don't know who this guy is even.
He said, I don't even know how to say his name. Well, he said, Tuinei. He said, I don't care.
He's a Hawaiian.
That's all he knew about it. Of course, he'd never seen it. Last week, Tuinei played defense
For most of the game after Randy White got hurt. First down, Dallas, their own 41. Dorsett back in the game along with Newsom. Hill again in front of Green. Another Dallas first down. I think that was an audible.
Yeah, did you hear Steve Fuller calling Okie? He was calling Okie. That meant the defense. That was a part of it. They were in an Okie defense, I think, with a man over the tackle. I mean, over the tackle over the center. But that did look like an audible. You know, Paul Hackett was telling us that Fuller was going to have to audible more this game than he did a week ago.
More ready to do that. 9.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Renfro wide left. Newsom the move man. It's Dorsett with the ball. Flag is down. Dave Butts made the stop. Going to be holding against Dallas.
That's probably going to be against Phil Pozderic, the right tackle. Pozderic, that's one of the problems. He doesn't play as much. He gets a lot of holding penalties.
Holding 75, 10 yards, no first down.
Well, he took a lot of heat early in the year when he got called a couple of times. He was starting at left tackle.
And they feel that right tackle is his more natural position. You know, everyone holds. But the thing is, you should only hold when you need it to get your advantage. Then after you get it, you got to get rid of the hold. You don't stay on a hold.
It's to Dorsett on first down. And he's got no place to go. Knocked out of bounds at the 40. That's the Dallas 40 by Calvin Daniels and Neil Okowitz.
Hey, the Redskins play good defense. You know, they're a very solid team against the run. You see how they string it out? That's Calvin Daniels. They just signed him about a week ago, but he kept the containment, kept everything to his inside. Don't let him get outside you. Then the pursuit can come down the line and get it.
Second down and 22. Cowboys back at their own 40. They lead 10-0. 9:05 left first half. Dorsett again, straight ahead. And again, only a couple. Okowitz and Mann, Charles Mann, make the tackle.
You know, that's one thing. You know, Dorsett is upset there a little. One thing Dorsett has the ability to do is make tacklers miss. And he doesn't like to get those square hits. That's one of the few times I've seen in tape when Okowitz hit him square on, head on.
That's why he's lasted as long as he has. He doesn't really ever get hit very solidly. 11 carries for 17 yards. It's 3rd and 20. Walker has replaced Dorsett. They operate out of the spread. The Redskins operate out of the blitz. Here's Walker. Flag is down as Walker barrels down to about the Redskin 42, but I'm sure they'll bring it back. Curtis Jordan and Rich Millott brought Walker down, a gain of 17. But the penalty, according to Dexter Manley at least, is going to be against Dallas.
I'll tell you two things. You know, there's two ways I've always said to get deep. One is by going straight up the field, and the other is by coming on a cross. Watch Herschel Walker here. He comes here and comes across the field. Now that's a good way, and then the other way to go deep, of course, would be straight up. But you see, you can gain that width by coming across. You see, he was on the other side. I got confused there. Anyway, here he is coming across the field. You see, they drive the thing deep, and then he comes across the field. They run that pattern a lot to him, you know, where they take the other guys and go deep and then just give him the whole width of the field to work.
That makes it 3rd and 25. Sherrard this time is split wide to the right. Velour out of the sprint formation. The blind snap from Rafferty. No flag so far. Going deep for Renfro. Pass picked off. That's better than a punt. Barry Wilburn intercepted, but the Redskins... Now there is a flag down way back at the line of scrimmage, and again it's against the Cowboys. Would you keep the ball or take the penalty?
This will be an interesting thing because it'll be a 10-yard penalty.
Well, they left the ball at the other end of the field all by itself.
I think the Redskins are going to be able to choose here. I don't know. I think I would...
71 offense will be accepted. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Tuinei.
I would think that I would do that. Now, of course, Mark Tuinei is having a little problem here with Dexter Manley. So you watch, he gets that left hand up there, and it's okay, but you have to bring it down. You see what he did? He put it up there and held, and it was okay. Then he held again, but he left it up there too long. You got to get it, and you got to push off with it, then come back to normal again. It really wasn't that bad.
3rd and 35. The Cowboys now backed up all the way back to their own 27. What do you call here, Coach?
That's when you
look
coach.
upstairs,
Yeah, you go get a drink of water. If you're upstairs, you start putting mustard on your hot dog.
Screen pass. And they got it to Walker. Walker out of bounds at the 40. They got some of it back. A gain of 13. And the Cowboys will have to punt. They're first.
That's not a bad play, just getting the ball to Herschel Walker and let him do it. You know, Doug Todd, the PR guy of the Cowboys, came up with an offense, and he told the coaches, he said, what you ought to do is you ought to use a WD-40 offense. Walker and Dorsett 40 times. And that's not a bad idea.
Well, you got them both. Can't go too far wrong.
Give him the old WD.
Yeah. Mike Saxon back to kick to Tim Jenkins, number 31 of the Redskins. Saxon from his own 25. Good kick. Jenkins retreats to his own 5. He is hit down at about the 14. 55-yard punt by Saxon. Jesse Penn was the man who took him down. At 2:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports presents college football. You'll see a matchup between two of the top teams in the country. The Iowa Hawkeyes, ranked number 10, against the 4th-ranked Michigan Wolverines, led by Jim Harbaugh, who is certainly one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. Big Ten battle for supremacy.
That looks like a Big Ten guy. Big anything guy.
Dave Butts from Purdue a long time ago.
Big Ten guys sweat a lot, I noticed.
Even late in the year.
Snowstorm.
Schrader back to throw. Has time, or did for a while, and now he's down by Jeff Rohr. That's the first sack by the Cowboys in a long time.
The other thing that you always have to watch to see who's open, let's start the quarterback and start him back. We'll start Schrader back. Now, right now, he's ready to throw. Now, you see, as we stop it, we see coverage here. There's no one open. There's no one open here, and there's no one open here. So that's what he sees when he's ready to throw. So now he has to hold, and that lets the rush get to him.
Second and 12, Keith Griffin in the backfield. Schrader looking for an audible, gives to Griffin. And Griffin in the arms of Ed Jones. And down he goes. No gain. Third down.
This defensive line, you want them to get up the field to rush. It didn't fool any of them. You see, they all stayed right there on the line. They all started their pass rush, felt draw, didn't continue running up. They were there to make a play.
That's those lanes you were talking about.
That's right. They all stayed in their lanes, and we see Smerrick is now in there productive left tackle.
Ricky Sanders just activated in the Redskin backfield. That's Monk in motion, followed by Everson Wall. Schrader back to throw again. Has time again. Got to get it upfield again. It's out of bounds. Gary Clark was the intended receiver. The protection was good, but the coverage was good.
I tell you, here's the battle here when you see Randy White in there. Watch him against Grimm. He got a little double team. Jacoby knocked him off, then Jacoby starts to chase him. But I tell you, Randy White is an all-out guy. I mean, he goes every play the whole way. As his coach, Ernie Stautner, told us yesterday, he said, I'm a heck of a lot better coach when he's in there, Ernie.
You're right about that. Cox standing in the end zone. Levette at his own 40 run. Cox, a good punt this time. That chases Levette back to his own 36. No place to go. Again, a penalty marker is down. And Levette almost scrambled out of the whole thing. Then almost lost the ball. But the flag is down at about the Redskin 35. A 50-yard punt by Cox. Let's see what the discussion is about.
Well, we're going for a record in this first half of penalties on kicking situations. I think the record is 7 in the first half.
Well, we're close.
In all-time NFL history. This is our 5th.
Sometimes it feels kind of good to close in on a record, but this is not one of them.
That's right. I'll tell you, that's Jim Tunney out there who's a referee, who I've always felt is one of the best. I know when I was a coach, I always felt that when Jim Tunney was there, things were going to be under control.
He always gives you that feeling.
See, when a penalty goes down, everyone wants to get in on it. See, the officials talk to each other, the players talk to each other. Now watch Angelo Snipes there. See, he was trying to get to the official to tell him. So he jumped right over the pile to get his 2 cents in.
Officiating can be dangerous.
Look at Crosby. He put his hands out like, I don't know what it is. What is it? I don't know what's going on here. We're going to have to get an explanation on this.
Johnny will communicate.
Yeah. We just can't go on this way.
Face mask foul by the kicking team. The penalty is declined. First down, Dallas.
Well, they found the whistle. 5:46 left to play in the first half, and Dallas leads Washington 10-0. Second quarter with 5:46 left to play. Dallas leads Washington 10-0. Don Weiss, Art McNally in the middle, who is the supervisor of officials for the NFL, and they are in charge of the replays.
Well,
they are utilized.
Yeah, they got some new equipment now. You see, that's Tom Hensley. That's a new earpiece and microphone that they're using. It's a CIA stuff.
They're still working. Over the head of Cosby. Now, John, they also have some new terminology when they start discussing the instant replay. I'm sure we're aware of the incident that occurred last week between Kansas City and the Raiders. Now, how about this?
Well, you know, that new earpiece, I think, is better than this. This is bad turn, you know, confirmed, reversal, inconclusive. In the heat of battle, you don't use those words. All they'd have to do is, if a guy fouls it up, go, no, no, no. Or, yeah, good. Words like that, they don't need inconclusive, you know.
I like the last category. Need more information.
Yeah, need more info. All he's saying, no, not enough. No good. Hey.
Second down and 10. This is Dorsett. Trying to sweep. Now he's got something going. He picked up a couple of blockers before Barry Wilburn brought him down, and after all that work, a loss of 1.
And one of those blocks was who would have thought Steve Pelluer, the quarterback, gets a pretty good block on this. Watch Dorsett. He's going to start out to the right, and he's going to find there's nothing here. He runs into a wall of Redskins. So now watch as he stops and reverses his field. Watching the right-hand side, number 16. He's going to come up, and he gets a block right back there, right there. That was a good block. I mean, he took down a big number 70.
Was it Dexter Manley he gets?
Right there, yeah, it was Dexter Manley. Yeah. I tell you, Pelluer on Manley gets a takedown.
3rd and 11. Cowboys at their own 46. To Walker. Walker down the sideline, still not down, out of bounds, inside the 30.
That was a heck of a throw by Steve Pelluer. Just as he threw that ball, Pat, he was hit by Charles Mann. Watch from the left-hand side of the screen here. Mann, number 71, coming. Watch Pelluer, he throws the ball, couldn't follow through, but he was able to get the ball to Walker. That was a good throw under pressure.
They never did get him down.
No, we talked to the Redskins last night. That's what they were all talking about, is Herschel Walker and tackling him. But they all know that they had to get down low on him because he is a big, strong guy up above.
Timeout, Dallas. Pelluer over at the sideline, as is Walker. They're all now talking with Jim Tunney in the huddle. Pelluer over with Landry. 4th and goal with 38 seconds remaining. But Redskins safety Ken Houston stopped Walt Garrison short of the goal line as time ran out in the history of this rivalry. Pelluer, after apparently injuring his elbow and perhaps his right hand, is now back under the center. Reggie Collier was warming up earlier. Here's Dorsett. He gets only a couple.
You know,
he butts again. Excuse me.
I was just going to say, as Pelluer threw that pass, that completion to Herschel Walker, he was driven to the ground by Charles Mann. And I think it looked like he hit his elbow and shoulder, and he lost the feeling in there. And he was the guy that took the time out. He wanted to try and regain the feeling in his arm.
John, we just got word from the sideline that indeed is what happened. He got hit on the funny bone, lost the feeling in his right arm, and he's still shaking it. Dorsett and Walker this time. Dorsett with nothing doing, and again here comes the penalty flag down. He butts again on a stop.
Yeah, they're all pointing. That has to be against the Cowboys. All those Redskins pointed with a smile.
That's tough to do at the same time.
Well, especially through a face mask with a helmet like that. That helmet's been in some wars. That has some scars on it.
That has to be a pretty good helmet, because as you say, that's been in some wars.
Early use of the hands, offense, 10 yards, still 2nd down.
That's gone paint to paint with a lot of guys.
With a lot of these guys in the silver helmets.
At least Jim Tunney on that one didn't say who the holding penalty was against.
I noticed that.
Derek looked like he was smiling because that's one thing these Cowboy fans know. You know, they know their football, and they know that that's one of the problems with Derek.
2nd and 19. Cowboys at the Redskin 37. Dorsett on a quick draw upfield, stopped by Calvin Daniels after a pickup of 4. That'll bring up a 3rd down situation.
Yeah, we saw that average yards rushing 1.8. That's one of the things that Tom Landry really doesn't like about the offense. We see Danny White signaling into plays to Steve Pallure. Tom Landers always wanted to have a balanced running and passing and an established running game. Last week against Denver, they didn't have any success, and here they're only 1.8 this first half.
That's one of the things that they really felt they had to do to win today. So far, they haven't done it. Here's Walker. Walker still on his feet inside the play. The ball goes out of bounds. Curtis Jordan tackled him. Walker got inside the 20, a gain of 13.
You know, this guy really has everything when you talk about Walker, doesn't he? Well, we know, we've seen him catch passes and all the receptions, and we've seen him here with much his quickness and speed and power and just running through things. Then, of course, he gets to the outside. We know that he has the speed, but he also has the power to run through blockers. Now, of course, it's 4th down. The fans want him to go for it. What do you do here? I think with a 10-0 lead, you just kick the field goal.
You have to. Oh, a rather unique thing. Danny White still signaling in. The Cowboys work out at their new complex, of course, at Valley Ranch, but 3 days a week, Raphael Septien and Ben Agajanian, his coach, come here, just the two of them, and practice kicking here at Texas Stadium.
By themselves.
By themselves. 10-0 with 2 minutes to go. To go first half, the Cowboys leading Washington 10-0. Coming up at the half, it's Brent Musburger and former Cowboy Charlie Waters with scores and highlights from around the league. And after 3 weeks of not living up to those high expectations, Buddy Ryan's boys in Philadelphia have responded to the most outspoken coach in the NFL, and that's putting it mildly. Also, Herb is here with a live report from Texas Stadium. Septien is also here with Steve Pallure holding from 38 yards away. 19 in a row from inside the 40 here. With 1:56 left to play in the first half, the Cowboys over the Redskins. Next week, Dallas will go to Philadelphia to face Buddy Ryan's new game. The Bears, Minnesota, St. Louis, Washington. Green Bay goes to Cleveland. Begins it with the NFL today. We'll be in Seattle. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Today we're at Texas Stadium, and the Cowboys 3-2 against the Redskins 5-0. Dallas leading 13-0.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one next week up there in Seattle, the Seahawks and the Giants. And you know, that's one of the things that's made this league so competitive this year. I really feel that the toughest division in the NFC is the NFC East. The toughest division in the AFC is the AFC West. And this year they're playing each other. So you not only get your division games, those teams against each other, but now you get them playing out of their division against each other, so you get to each other's going.
Joe Gibbs was talking about it yesterday, about how many good teams there are. And in fact, now that all the good teams seem to be playing each other, and they seem to be playing a little bit harder.
And they're starting to knock each other off with injuries.
Septien's kick goes to Jenkins at the 1. He has broken a couple, and it looks like he's going to break another one. Down at about the 28 by Manny Hendricks, and once more there is a flag down.
There it is. That's a 6th penalty on a kicking situation today. The record again is 7, so very, very close.
Violation this time against the Cowboys face mask. Now, not many people that I know would know that record. How did you know that?
I just have those records right on the tip of my tongue.
5 yards on to the end of the run. 5 yards and first down.
Now, any of those that a lot of people don't know, you just make up. Watch Steve Diassi. He's the top special teams players now on the Cowboys. Now, this is what a cover guy goes through. You get blocked once, you get blocked twice, you get blocked 3 times, and you finally just keep fighting that guy. And then you get caught for grabbing his face mask at the end after you've been blocked 4 times.
There's no penalty for grabbing the jersey. 1st and 10 Redskins. They have all their timeouts remaining. Walls following Monk. Trader gets it up the field to Monk. Monk trying to get away from Jesse Penn. Winds up gaining 6 yards.
You know, we're talking about lanes without, the run. It's the same thing in passing. That time Schrader had a good passing lane up the middle.
Again he has time, and again he completes the pass. This time to Keith Griffin out of the backfield. First down Redskins, and now he does take a timeout. Jesse Penn again on the stop.
I'll tell you one thing about the Redskins is we have to remember going into the halftime, I think they're the best team at making offensive adjustments in the league.
13-0. Still cool, still ideal, but Texas Stadium, there's a shot that would be admired by my colleague, Dean Hamill, with some blood.
That's the kind of guys that get it. The guys that stay in the pits. Remember we were talking about Hamill, the guy that takes a draw, stays at home, hangs up there in the line of scrimmage. He's the guy that gets the blood, and then when you get the blood, then you rub it. You rub it over you so that you have it all over. And they say, boy, that guy was down there in the pits today.
Didier split out wide to the right this time. Schrader looking straight upfield, however. Pass knocked down by Walls, intended for Monk. Redskins trail 13-0, but 4 out of the 5 times this year. Keep in mind they're 5-0. 4 out of the 5 times this year that they've won, they have come from behind.
Yeah, that's one of the things that just a little earlier I was saying, I think that they make the best adjustments at halftime of anyone. And Jay Schrader was saying that all their pass patterns have adjustments. So they go in at halftime, look at the Polaroids, and decide what is the best adjustment to use.
2nd and 10. Redskins from their own 45. Schrader under pressure this time, and down he goes. All-out blitz by the Cowboys. That's their 2nd sack. Jesse Penn was the man who got there first.
I'll tell you, they had Michael Downs, Jesse Penn. They all came from the left side. Watch the top of the screen. They're all going to come. Here's where the blitz comes from. Here's Downs. They all come out there. What? They overload that side. They end up 4 on 2. But even the 2 beat their blockers, so they end up 4 on the quarterback.
And the Redskins, after hustling back, call their 2nd timeout.
I'll tell you, this is Clark on the other side. They threw the ball to Monk, but you also see that Ron Fellows had good coverage over there on Gary Clark. That's what it takes. It's a combination of the rush and the coverage. Because if you get the rush, then he doesn't have a lot of time to look. And if you have the coverage, then he has no one to throw to.
1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas has 2 timeouts remaining. Washington down to 1 now. They have the ball at their own 40-yard line. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play. And the Cowboys leading 13-0. Redskins ball at their own 40. Jay Schrader is a great big guy. He doesn't look, until you stand up next to him, to be that big. But he's about 6'4", 215, and he can move. Very difficult to sack. 3rd down. Schrader. Pass going to be picked off by Michael Downs. Still inbound. Downs will have it for the Cowboys at the Redskin 44-yard line. Or the Cowboys 44-yard line. Intended for Gary Clark.
I'll tell you, you got a lot of help on that by the rush by Randy White there at the end. You see Downs coming over. He was a free safety playing center field, reading the quarterback and reacting to the ball. I tell you, if we watch again, watch Randy White. He's going to come right in Schrader's face, right up the middle here, just as he throws it. You see right there? You see he's coming at him, and he has to throw over a guy breathing down on him.
He knew he was out of time. Handoff is to Newsom. Newsom tried to take it outside, maybe picked up 2. Dexter Manley on the stop.
Well, these Cowboy fans are into this rivalry. Huh? It's 13-0. They're booing because the Cowboys don't go for it.
And because they didn't take a timeout. They have 2 left.
I'm a little surprised because they do have good field position. You know, it's not like they're in a trouble area. They're at midfield. All they need is one completion and have a shot at a field goal.
And they have 2 timeouts remaining. We're down to 18 seconds, and now they'll go for something. Lure to Tony Hill, and he catches it inbound. Pass complete, and they say keep the clock running, and now they've got to take a timeout.
Have to, because that'll be about a 51-yard field goal attempt.
Well, they may have time for one more play with 9 seconds remaining and a timeout left.
You know, that's the thing that they need. See, they only needed, you know, I mean, the thing that they get here to Tony Hill, that'll get him close to a field goal. One more would almost make it automatic. You know, when you're talking about, a guy like Raphael Septien.
Pleur, again, over on the sideline talking with the coaching staff and Danny White. Paul Hackett was saying yesterday, we were talking with him, he's the offensive coordinator, what a help Danny White had been to Pleur.
You know, the thing you worry about here, and Tom Landry's saying 9 seconds, is that you really have to throw a rhythm pass, that you have to be sure that no matter what happens, you have to get that ball out of there in about 4 or 5 seconds. And then if it's, you know, if it's complete, then the guy has to get down. So I would think that I would either want to throw this ball either in the end zone or on the sidelines where you can get out of bounds. I wouldn't want to take the chance of a completion and having to call timeout.
Pleur. And now you better take the timeout. Cosby is signaling, everybody's signaling. 2 seconds remaining on the clock. That's cutting it close, but they got it done.
That is cutting it close. I'll tell you, they did it. You know, they're still working on Barry Wilburn over there. You see him, Hill had that good adjustment. He made a hook, and then he took one more inside hook, then caught the pattern, then, of course, took the timeout with 2 seconds left to go. And now it's a chip shot for Septien, even though you guys don't like that kind of talk. There's never been a kicker who'd like to have any kick called a chip shot.
That's correct. I like the way you said you guys, though.
You guys, you kickers, that fraternity you guys got.
I'm still a member.
Yeah. Member, heck, you're the president.
2 seconds to go in the first half. Dallas leading 13-0. Tom Landry getting ready for his halftime speech. Comes out of his equipment.
Loosened up his ears a little and said not a bad half's work for the Cowboys. You know, the Redskins only had the ball 4 times in the first half.
Amazing. From 36 yards this time. Septien is 2 for 2 today. Pleur holding. Nothing. Raphael Septien's 3rd of the day. He is 3 for 3. Right. Could call it the, not the fridge, of course, but something. Steve Pleur, you have to admire what he's done in leading the Cowboys to this 16-0 lead in the first half this week against last week.
Well, you know, we see that, you know, I think the big thing is no interceptions. Last week when he had that interception against Denver, he kind of went downhill after that. But look here, he's 6 out of 10. Last week he was 5 out of 10, but he has 117 yards. Last week it was 81 yards. But the big thing, I still think, is not having any interceptions.
That's his first half picture. 10 out of 15, 191. And as Danny White said to us, when I asked him last week about what he felt was Pleur's strength, he didn't talk about passing. He didn't talk about scrambling. He said, I think his strength is his poise. And he certainly exhibited that.
I think Tom Landry lost his play sheet or something. He's lost something. Look, he's looking. There it is, a list. He's lost his list.
Jenkins takes the second half kickoff at the 8. He had a lot of success in the first half. And he's out of bounds by Everson Walls at about the 35. And again, Jenkins does a good job of return of 27.
There was Tom Landry just as the half ended and Rafael Septien kicked that field goal. You don't see that happen too much. As quickly as he realized that he caught himself, said you can't be smiling on the field, even though you're ahead 16-0.
Not at the half. When it's over, maybe you smile. Redskins will start to operate from their own 35. George Rogers behind Jay Schrader. 16-0 Dallas. Fake to Rogers. Schrader hit by Jones. Completes the pass to Clark nevertheless, and it'll be a Redskin first down. Schrader got up and patted, hit Jones on the back after he decked him.
I'll tell you, Too Tall starts to rush against May. May lets him go on trying to pick up a stunt, and that's the next thing Jay Schrader sees.
First down, Redskins. They move up to their own 46. Clark wide left. Monk in the slot. Didier wide right. Straight ahead is Rogers, and Rogers gets about 8. Mike Hegman finally tripped him up.
That was the old quick trap up the middle. You know, you don't see that much anymore where the left guard comes across and traps the first man on the other side of the center. There was a quick trap where Russ Grimm came across and trapped John Dutton, and Rogers just split that trap. Well, that used to be a big play.
That's when everybody played a 4-man front.
And everyone would trap that middle in there.
Right. Walls comes out with Clark. Didier comes back in the backfield. Rogers again straight ahead into Dallas territory. Another Redskin first down before he is stopped by Jeff Rohr.
Hey, Jeff Rohr was the outside linebacker in that right side, and he came flying across the line of scrimmage. Came from the outside all the way to the inside. Now, if I told you there's one Cowboy that wears an earring, and the only Cowboy that's ever worn an earring under Tom Landry, who would you guess it would be?
I wouldn't guess it's number 50, but it is.
But it is.
Schrader back to throw. He's going to be chased by Jeffcoat. And he has to ground him. Now for the latest on the Reagan-Gorbachev talks in Iceland, let's go to CBS News.
This is a CBS News special report. Reporting live from Reykjavik, Iceland, here
back in Texas Stadium, the Redskins on the move. They have a first down, or they had a first down at the Dallas 22. Now it's 2nd and 4. Cowboys lead the Redskins 16-0. With the Redskins on the move. Schrader has hit Didier for the big first down and just hit Clark. Didier is split wide to the left this time, and Clark is to the right. Rogers pounds down to about the 10. That should be enough for another Redskin first down. Mike Hegman made the stop, a gain of 4 for Rogers. And it's just outside the 10. It should be a first.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about before the half that I've always felt the Redskins do so well is adjust at halftime. And now they've come out the first time they got the ball. They have good mixture. They've gotten some running going in there. They're trapping and running inside now. They got their pass going. They finally got it to Didier. I think they're getting on page now.
1st and 10, just outside the 10. Rogers going to setback. Out in the flat to Didier, and Didier is down, tackled by Vince Albritton at about the 3.
That's one of the big things. You know, last year it seemed like it was blitzing was a big thing. This time it seems to be the crossing patterns, you know, and getting the big guy out there, the crossing patterns, and more deep passing this year than we saw last year.
Didier is a big guy, 6'5", 240, 2nd and 2. Redskins go with 3 tight ends. And Rogers is the setback. Didier was the move man. Rogers hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard. Ed Jones and Randy White.
The guy who made that play was Too Tall Jones, because the thing you have to do offensively is you can't allow penetration. The thing on defense, you want to get penetration. Watch 72 right here in front. See, he's right here. He gets penetration, and then the play doesn't have a chance. Watch Too Tall Jones. See him get penetration in there? See, he was 3 yards in the Redskin backfield.
3rd and 1. Rodgers deep. Warren in front of him. Rodgers. Touchdown. George Rodgers from 2 yards out puts the Redskins on the scoreboard. And it's 16-6.
You know, I think that's a great example of penetration and no penetration. And the first play, you saw the penetration, and the Redskins couldn't get anything. Now watch this right side of the line here. You get May, you get McKenzie, you get Didier, you get no penetration. And then you take your big back and run them right in behind that. That's pretty good blocking over there. But they had a tackle, a guard, and a tight end.
A pretty good drive. Mosley for the extra point. And he missed it. Mosley wide left with the extra point. Oh, these are days of misery. Here's the touchdown again.
Charlie, give me a line.
Dallas to a come-from-behind victory with this 50-yard bomb to Drew Pearson with 28 seconds left in the game. Well, I'll never forget that day. George Allen was on the sideline, didn't know who Clint Longley was, asking people, what is a Longley?
I'll tell you, and George never forgot that play. I remember talking to George after that game, and he said, we had the right defense. We had that guy doubled.
Yeah,
we had him inside out. He said, what more can you ask for? Having him doubled, and that's the guy they throw to.
Here's Steve Cox to kick off. And it's aimed at Robert Levette, 2 yards deep in the end zone, and he will remain there. They'll bring it out to the 20. Next week, as we approach the halfway mark of this season, the 67th NFL season, the Cowboys will visit Philadelphia. That won't be a friendly visit. Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Washington, Green Bay at Cleveland. And then John and I make the trek to Seattle. The Giants will be there against the Seahawks. Today we're at Texas Stadium. 16-6. The Cowboys lead the Redskins, the unbeaten Redskins. Renfro is the move man, splits wide to the left. Newsom and Dorsett on the Cowboys' first series of the second half. Dorsett was the intended receiver. Calvin Daniels was involved in the pass coverage. Pallure just overthrew him. Cardinals looking for their first win against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and that jet score was surprising. You know, they're doing that with their starting quarterback, O'Brien, out. They got another Irish guy in there, Ryan. Ryan replaces O'Brien.
And they have Richard Todd now backing him up. 2nd down and 10 for the Cowboys. Dorsett over to the sideline, and Herschel Walker in his place. Renfro left, Tony Hill right. Crosby, his first catch of the day. A gain of about 7 or 8. Ken Coffey on the stop.
That's one of the things that the Cowboys really haven't been doing, is using Crosby much in the pass offense this year. This is only his 10th pass that he's caught all year. And every other year he'd kind of be the #1 receiver, but they'll have on every pattern like a 1-2-3 read, and Crosby is never the 1 or 2 read. It seems like he's always the 3rd guy this year.
That's sort of the Paul Hackett, Bill Walsh philosophy.
Yeah, that the tight end is never a big part of that pass offense. It's a wide receiver and running back passing game.
Redskins showed a blitz. Pallure fields the blitz, gets away from one, finally is slung down by Dexter Manley. That's the first time. Rich Millott led the charge.
Well, Millott was the guy, number 57, who wasn't blocked. He came from the right side, and he was free all the way. The Cowboys didn't pick him up. And he's the guy who gets here. Watch him here. He's here. He comes from this side. No one blocks him, and he makes Pulur go forward. But watch Malat, the outside guy. Here he comes in the blitz. He was the next guy in there, but no one blocked him. And then that forced Pulur up and into the defensive line.
Saxon back to kick. Doesn't get it all. Jenkins will field it at his own 31. Cowboys down in a hurry. Jenkins gets away from a bunch, and Jeff Rohr takes him down. Redskins will have it in pretty good shape. Their own 45, trailing 16-6. 46-yard punt. And Jenkins again with a good return. Manley.
Hi, Linda. Derek. Dexter. Dallas. Hello, everybody.
Dexter will shake a hand and say hello on him.
Well, when you break a record and you know you're a rush man and you pride yourself in being a pass rusher and you break a record, you got a lot
on Talbot. All-time Redskin record for sacks. So he's got reason to be happy, except that they're behind by 10. Here's the handoff to Rogers over the left side, and he batters for about 5.
It was interesting, Pat, on that last Redskin drive, they had 5 first downs coming out of halftime. In the first half, they only had 6 first downs altogether. I think that they got the thing going. They probably decided we have to go back to running. We want to work the inside of that defense and then work the ball around pass and try and get it to guys like Didier and so on.
2nd and 5, just over 7 minutes left, third quarter. Redskins at midfield. Schrader back to throw. Outside Clark again. Fellows again is there to make the stop. But Clark will have another Washington first down. A gain of 6.
There was a question yesterday as to whether Ron Fellows would be playing today. Tom Landry thought he had the flu. And when they went and checked it out, he had fluid on his knee. He didn't practice. And they found out that, I guess the fluid got off the knee a little, so he's okay today, and it doesn't look like it's bothering him.
Didier goes out wide to the left, and Downs goes out there with him. That's his Clark in motion. First down, Redskins at the Cowboy 45. Schrader comes on a sprint out and finds Art Monk. Maybe a yard shy of another first down. Vince Albritton is there along with Ron Fellows.
That's that play that they call speed. It's a form of a sprint out. It's called speed right or left. Everyone blocks. Now watch him. He's going to come out to his right. Everyone's going to block. The back blocks, the tight end blocks here, and the onside see him. He only has 2 receivers out there, 1 short and 1 deep. He gets a good clean read, and he hit Art Monk on that one.
2nd and 2. At the Dallas 36. Rogers has another Redskin first down. A gain of 3 before Jeff Rohr makes the stop.
That's a tight end, a formation you don't see too much. It was an I formation from the Redskins. They've been doing a little of that with Don Warren in the backfield.
Rogers came up limping.
Usually it's a one-back, but now this guy right here is Donnie Warden. Now he's the lead blocker for Rogers. You usually only see the one guy back there.
Schrader has him out in a hurry. 1st and 10. Dallas 33. Back to throw. Got a man. Oh, just over the head of Art Monk. Everson Walls was behind by about a step and a half.
Oh, and Schrader hates that. The same thing happened. He had one like that last week against New Orleans. When you got your guy, you got to play. There's no safety in there. It's one-on-one. Your guy got their guy beat, and you don't get it there. I'll tell you, that's a frustrator for a quarterback.
This, of course, has been a historic weekend in Iceland, and because of the importance of those discussions between President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev, we'll be hearing from CBS News throughout the day of the latest developments at the summit in Iceland. Right now, it's 2nd and 10 for the Redskins. Monk goes in motion. A couple of fake moves, and Schrader is back to throw. Outside Griffin, incomplete. The throw was low.
I think Schrader got so upset at himself by having Monk open on the touchdown that showed on that play. You know, there was just a little screen, and you know, and he shouldn't have had trouble with that. But sometimes, you know, when you get excited, you tighten up a little. Then when you tighten up a little, the toughest thing to throw is that little touch pass.
George Rogers, I mentioned before, he was limping after his last carry. Over on the bench, they're checking. He appears to be okay. Keith Griffin has replaced him. Back is Schrader. Going deep again and knocked down by Wall. Michael Downs is coming on a blitz. It was the same play. That's something that Schrader will do. Come right back with the same thing.
That's what Joe Gibbs said last week. He said, let me do it again. But look, that's a true man-on-man. That's a true man-on-man. You see all the defense up here. They got 8 guys, and they're all coming on the blitz. You see the big pass rush. The Redskins pick him up. Schrader has time. But the only thing is, he doesn't get the ball to Monk. See what they bring all of them. See the pass rush, good pass protection. He gets the one-on-one he wants. He just didn't get it there.
From 50 yards out is Steve Cox, and he is wide left. Redskins now have missed 2 field goals and 1 extra point. And those things inevitably you hear about when the final score is final. 16-6 Dallas. Stadium where, with 4:37 left third quarter, Cowboys are up 16-6. Crosby out of bounds in front of the Cowboy bench. A gain of 8. Make it 9. Crosby's second, excuse me.
Right on that third down play that we looked at for the Redskins, we saw this, that the Redskins really had pretty good protection against the blitz. The Cowboys went on the all-out blitz, which leaves you man-to-man. Monk had won the play before, but Everson Walls won that one. That was great pass defense. He had Monk all over the field, guarded him, and knocked the ball down.
Second and short. 1. Newsom and Dorsett are behind Steve Pallure. Now they move. Redskins showed us blitz. Newsom showed us Dallas first down. Olkowitz tripped him up. The Redskins are very proud, as is Joe Gibbs, as he should be, of the fact that they are 5-0 and the fact that they have not made many mistakes. But today, that has not been the case, and that's the primary reason they're behind.
Well, you know, they missed the field goals. Then those penalties were big ones. Remember, they had a couple of good kickoff returns that were called back.
Right.
And, of course, that big pass interference early in the game.
That's what got the Cowboys out of the hole early. Lower back to Dorsett. And he is hit down just outside the 45. A gain of only 1 by Charles Mann. The Bears 14-0 over Houston. St. Louis 23-7 over Tampa Bay, looking for their first victory. Cleveland and Atlanta. Boy, they have surprised a lot of people. 20-7 over the Rams.
See how they do that? You see how they get like a little blood on your elbow or something, then they rub it on their pants? Then it looks, tough game. I had blood all over me. Blood all over me.
Second and 9. Pallure drops to throw. It's picked off by Barry Wilburn. Wilburn is down at the Dallas 40, and the Redskins will operate in good shape. Mike Sherrard was the intended receiver.
They went to Wilburn. They went to the well one too many times. I'll tell you, that was a hook, and I think they waited a little too long, and Wilburn jumped on it.
3:01 left third quarter. Dallas on top by 10. Redskins have it in good shape. George Rogers still being looked at, attended to, on the Redskins sideline. He's got his left shoe off, and they're working on retaping his left foot. Redskin first down at the Dallas 40. 3:01 left in the third quarter. Handoff is to Griffin. Keith Griffin replacing Rogers. Hammers inside the Cowboy 30. A gain of 11. Eugene Lockhart finally tripped him up.
And I'll tell you, the guy that made the block is the center. Watch Bostic here, the center, block on Lockhart, get him going back so that the hole can open right behind him. I think Jeff Bostic is one of the best centers in the league. See him come out on Lockhart, fire out on fire on him, stay with him, and by the time Lockhart can get to it, they got a first down.
Griffin got 11. Schrader gives again to Griffin. He's to the 25. Jeff Rohr from the weak side. Made the stop after a gain of 4. Make it 2nd and 6. The Patriots coming back against the Jets. Steve Grogan is now their quarterback.
This is going to be a big year for backup quarterbacks the way the starters are going down.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Second down and 6 Redskins. Less than 2 minutes left in the third quarter. They're at the Cowboy 25 with Monk in motion. Schrader back to throw. They're after him, and they got him. Eugene Lockhart was the first to arrive on the scene. Mike Hegman was there.
I think that's the thing that they did. You know, they were sitting back there, and they decided we'd better go after him.
Just look at that list of quarterbacks who have been injured this year, and as you said, backup quarterbacks are in the vogue at the moment.
Of course, we see there some of them been injured and coming back again.
The word on Rodgers is that he has a sprained left ankle. Not sure if he'll be back. Monk goes in motion on 3rd and long. And they get after him again. Clark has a step. He had a step on Wall. Schrader had to hurry.
I'll tell you, that's the second one. He had Monk earlier here. Gary Clark is out here man-to-man on Everson Walls. And we see here he has him beaten by a couple of steps, and the ball is just outside his reach. You know, the Redskins have just been an inch off here and an inch off there all day. I think that's the type of thing that Clark, I've always thought you don't leave your feet on those things. You have to run through them.
Steve Cox was late getting out because he had to change shoes. He thought he was going to punt, and now he's going to field goal from 51 yards away. That one is off to the...
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru and the Subaru XT, the sport magazine.
We are back at Texas Stadium, where while we were gone on 3rd and 12, the touchdown pass from Pelluer to Mike Sherrard, and watch this catch.
Well, this was one that the ball goes up in the air. Darrell Green is a defender. Sherrard is a receiver. Now, you don't know who has the ball, but they ruled it a touchdown. They looked at instant replay. See the official there say touchdown. Instant replay looked at it, said inconclusive. So it's been a touchdown for the Cowboys.
And it's 23-6, Dallas leading. They just recovered a fumble on the kickoff, and Dallas has it first down at the Washington 25, and Newsom goes for a few. Newsom got 3. And here again is the fumble recovery on the kickoff by Vince Albritton. It was Tim Jenkins on the repair, number 31.
There was a penalty on that play, and it was against the Redskins, so of course the Cowboys come up with the ball. You know, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Look at this, Pat. It's raining when you look at the thing, but it's coming through the hole in the roof, but then you look down in the field, and it doesn't look like it's getting down there.
It's just on the other side of the field.
I've never seen that.
I haven't either.
You know rain has to start and end someplace, but now we're seeing it right here.
Pelluer moves Dorsett now. The 30-second clock is down to 3. Pelluer gets the play done. And here they come after. Pelluer shakes a tackler. Pelluer inside the 15 and out of bounds. And a flag is down. Tim Coffey finally got him out of bounds. He got 10 yards. But the flag is going to be against the Cowboys. Detroit beating Green Bay 21-7. Fourth quarter. The Saints over the Colts by 10. St. Louis 23-16 over the Buccaneers. Atlanta, still surprising a lot of people, leading the Rams. Here it is 23-6, Dallas over Washington.
Push, number 68, 10 yards, still second down.
A push is called against offensive right guard Crawford Kerr.
Crawford Kerr is used to pushing things. You know, he's the guy that gets in shape by pushing trucks. You know, like some guys push weight, some guys push away from the table. This guy turns the ignition off, gets behind and pushes a truck to get in shape.
Uphill.
Uphill. Now that's something.
He does not push away from the table.
If you push trucks uphill, you don't have to push away from the table.
Here comes Manley after Pallure. He gets it out to Walker. Walker's got some blockers in front. Walker still on his feet. Walker around the corner, and he might get in. Herschel Walker at the goal line is down about a foot short. A gain of 27 out of what looked like it had to be a sack.
I'll tell you, the way Steve Pallure is playing today, Danny White's going to have a tough time getting back. It was a great run by Herschel Walker. But watch what Pallure has to do to get rid of the ball. Manley breaks free. Manley has him. He gets the ball off to Walker. Then, of course, you get the ball to this big guy in the open field. You know that it's a job to get him down. Look, he runs around, by, and through Redskin tacklers, or would-be Redskin tacklers.
Well, a crushing block by Tom Rafferty. Got it all started. Newsom and Walker behind Pallure. That's Crosby in motion. Walker, touchdown.
Makes a run like Herschel Walker to get the ball all the way down to the goal line. You just give it to him to get that touchdown. He deserves it.
He sort of just nudged it in.
Well, he went right in there between Glenn Titensur and Mark Tuinay. I'll tell you, anyone that doesn't think that this guy is an NFL-type player really hasn't seen him play.
Well, we've seen him 2 weeks in a row. Last week, he was pretty well stifled. But today, it's been different. 10:26 left to play. It's the Cowboys on top, 30-6. 1983, Ron Springs was thrown for a loss. And this produced perhaps the most emotion Dallas coach Tom Landry has ever displayed. Yelling, "No, no, Danny, no." Back at Texas Stadium one more time, and he hasn't said no, no too many times today. Cowboys lead 30-6. When the game started, it looked like the Redskins would chase them out of the stadium. And all of a sudden, they escaped from deep in their own territory, scored a touchdown, and been all Dallas since then. And Jenkins at the 2. Jenkins hit by Carson Jacks and knocked down after a return of 24.
So you know it's something when you see the Cowboys last week, and of course we know Danny White was injured, Steve Pallure came in, and then to see him this week, they look like a different team. Like, you know,
totally.
Yeah, a totally different team. Like years have passed to get this way. And I know in talking to Paul Hackett yesterday, he said that he really feels so much more comfortable this week with Steve Pallure, and Pallure feels so much more comfortable, and it's showing today.
Rodgers still on the bench. Keith Griffin in the Redskin backfield. Monk in motion. Schrader overthrows Gary Clark. Everson Walls on the cover. Here is the touchdown catch again by Sherrard.
I'll tell you, this is about as good a coverage as you can have. There's Darrell Green, the defender, and they did look at this. This is while we were away. They did look at this. They said it was inconclusive, but when you see it right there, that was an interception. Darrell Green had that ball. Of course, the officials didn't have that angle of it. They said it was inconclusive. The official on the play ruled touchdown.
10 minutes, 11 seconds left to play. 2nd and 10 Redskins from their own 26. Come up. Michael Downs on the tackle. That'll bring up a 3rd down situation after a gain of 5.
You know, Michael Downs was talking this week about why he doesn't get any publicity. He said he's from Dallas. His high schools never had him back. They never had a Michael Downs Day. And, you know, he's the leader of the defense now. They always talk about Everson Walls. And he was saying, what have I done? You know, it must be my personality, but I never get acknowledged for anything.
Well, he deserves it.
He sure does. He's been a solid player back there since he's been a free agent rookie.
On 3rd down. Slater gets it out to Clark. Beg your pardon, not Clark. Ricky Sanders. Sanders ready to start it upfield. Forgot to carry the ball.
Sanders was just activated today. I'll tell you, this is a frustrating day for Joe Gibbs and his staff because they've just been offensively out of sync all day. I mean, they haven't been able to put anything together. They've had some big plays, haven't been able to get them. The Cowboys defense has kept the pressure on them, and I think the Cowboy defense has kept them out of sync.
They've had a couple of guys open deep, and they just haven't been able to get the ball there. Either it's a blitz, or it's an overthrow, or whatever. Robert Levette back deep for Dallas. Steve Cox to kick. And it's a good high kick. Levette signals fair catch at the 20, fumbles it, dives back to about the 16, and he recovered. So with 9 minutes and 12 seconds left, Cowboys take over leading 30-6. Good punt by Cox. Looking down through the hole in the top of Texas Stadium. Watching the Cowboys lead the Redskins 30-6. Where that rain that we couldn't see was coming through, I guess.
Could have come from the Goodyear blimp.
Possible.
They just unplugged it, pulled the plug.
Cowboys have changed offensive tackles, by the way. It's Cooper and now Howard Richards at left tackle. They are the two that didn't start today after the long day in Denver last week. 1st and 10. Steve Pallure. Gibbs to Newsom, and Newsom hammers straight ahead for 6 or 7. Calvin Daniels tripped him up. Dorsett getting a rest now, and Herschel Walker and Newsom are the 2 runners. Walker has 6 catches for 155 yards and 4 carries for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns. Newsom got 7, 2nd and 3. It's Newsom again. Not much there. Dexter Manley and Ken Coffey brought him down. A loss of 1.
Yeah, that's one of the things over the years. Dexter Manley has become a better run player. You know, when he said the longest day he ever had in his life was when he was a rookie playing down here against the Cowboys. He said Pat Donovan, the tech, did everything to him that could be done. He said it was embarrassing.
Interesting what Dexter was saying last night. I asked him what was the heaviest he'd ever been. He said 264. What do you weigh now? 257. And I feel a lot better. It's amazing what 7 pounds will do. Here's Pallure. He fakes, and he's going to take off. And Pallure slides. That should be enough for the 1st down Cowboys. Alvin Walton was the man who made sure he stayed down. A gain of 6.
Well, here it is. It's tough to play when you're down 30-6. But if you're one of those guys that turns on the motor and keeps it going all the way, that's the only way to play. You don't make decisions about what the score is, who's ahead, should you play or not. There's only one way to play. You just go out and play as hard as you can every play.
In the American League Championship Series, the Boston Red Sox lead California 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. On 1st down, Now, Pelur is going to throw if he has time. He gets it out to Newsom, and Newsom breaks a tackle and steps out of bounds. Should be enough for a first. Gain of 11.
You know, it's obvious on this offense. We see Tom Landry giving the play to Danny White. Now, he and Al Levin are both signaled in. One is live, one's real, one's fake. See? So in case you're trying to steal the signal. But this guy, Pelur, is really impressive. Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy, 6'4". He's been running. He's been throwing. He has poise, confidence. I'm really impressed with him.
Oh.
I mean, if he's not the Cowboy quarterback now, he's going to be the Cowboy quarterback in the future.
He impressed everybody last week. Denver chased him everywhere. Here's Walker. Left side for 3 or 4. Olkowitz on the stop. Here is Randy White, who played after pulling a hamstring last week.
You know, there's that Bosworth, the linebacker from Oklahoma, after they lost to Miami. I read a quote that he said that you got to pull the truck out of the ditch. Made it after you lose, you got to get back. I think Randy White would make that same guy. You know, I got a hamstring. We just lost to Denver. We got to pull the truck out of the ditch.
And he could do it by himself.
Even with a bad hamstring.
Here's Walker around the corner. Fumble, and the Redskins pick it up. Dean Hamill made the recovery. Darrell Green made the hit that caused the fumble. 30-6 Dallas over Washington with 6 minutes, 12 seconds left to play.
Coach, and I hated to go to Seattle. I hated to play inside in that dome up there. Couldn't hear, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. I don't think I ever won a game up there.
You know, John, in NFL games for 25 years, I've never done a game in Seattle, a football game.
This will be a first next Sunday.
You'll show me where to go, right?
Let's watch that fumble again. You know what happened? He's looking to the inside. Watch Darrell Green come from the outside and make the hit. So he's looking inside right there. Darrell Green comes in low, hits him right on the knee, and pap, the ball pops out.
That's the way you must tackle Herschel Walker. Monk is man in motion. Schrader back to throw. Pass Monk. Monk drops. Next Sunday, I beg your pardon, again, we will be in Seattle. This Sunday, we're in Dallas. And the Cowboys have been, after the first series of downs, pretty much in control.
Well, they have, and I think that the Redskins have become frustrated offensively. I mean, you don't see Art Monk drop a pass like that to Frank. Right. You're not going to see that.
Schrader back. Chased by Smirek. Chased by White. Down by Jeffcoat. 4 sacks on Jay Schrader.
Now that one there, Pat, is what I would call a coverage sack, if there's such a word. And we'll see what happens here. See, Schrader is going to roll out. Now, as he rolls out here, and we'll stop it, we'll see that there's no one open. We'll let him come all the way out to here, and we'll see him here in the rollout. Now, right now, he's ready to throw. But you can see that he doesn't have anyone open. Here's his other guy, but he can't throw back here. So there's no one open there. There's no one open on the outside. So then he had to scramble, and he scrambled into a sack.
On 3rd and 12, Schrader again will go to the air. If again he has time. And he does. And he has Clark. Out of bounds. Clark, upset, fired the ball back at the official, and the flags come down.
That's going to be against Clark. He thought he had both feet inbounds. You see, it's against that zone. He's working between the short guy and the deep guy. He has to have both feet down.
He didn't.
Conduct number 84.
Now watch him when he throws it. We'll get it right here. Didn't have his feet inbounds. Thought he had his feet inbounds. and he gets up, sees the official saying no good, out of bounds, throws it at the official. Official wasn't ready to catch it, and the other official threw the flag, not the official that he threw him at.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was during the dead ball. It'll be 4th down. 4th.
You know, this is pretty close, though. I don't know. You know, he has to have control with both feet in bounds.
And he's got to have them both down, too. I'm not sure.
And, of course, the ball has to be in bounds.
That's inconclusive, I think.
It was a heck of a catch, though. But anyway, he didn't get the catch, and he got a 15-yard penalty. And that's kind of been the type of day it's been for the Redskins. I'm sure the most surprised guy is Gary Clark, because he's one of those quiet, reserve type who never says anything.
I think the official was probably surprised when he threw the ball at him, too, don't you? Here's Cox. It's off a high kick to Levitt at the 10. Shook away from one man and then retreated and was caught by Angelo Snipes, number 59.
You know what I wonder, what would have been interesting had the officials in the booth said that that was a legal catch. Then I wonder if they would have also taken the penalty away.
I doubt it. I don't see how they could. It was still unsportsmanlike conduct, which is what they call. That doesn't change that. Walton shaken up and being helped off the field now. Let's see if we can see how he got hurt.
Alvin Walton is one of those players that the Redskins feel is going to be one of their top players. He's only a rookie defensive back. We can see it, his knee got, I think, caught there and bent over. You see him grab his left knee.
And then someone fell on top of him after that. Fuller. It's to Herschel Walker. Walker hammers over the left side out to about the 13 or 14-yard line, stopped by Dave Butts, a gain of 4. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. Atlanta still beating Los Angeles. 2nd and 6. Cowboys operating from their own 13-yard line with 4:41 left to play. Walker again. Close to a first down before Rich Malott.
We'll go back and look at that Clark play again on the sideline. You see here, the replay people did look at it, and they said it was inconclusive. But he has the ball, and I don't know if both feet touched down or not.
It's hard to tell if his right foot got down or not.
Yeah. It looks like both toes are on it right there, though. Watch it at this angle.
I agree with
I think both toes are in it. He had the ball.
I agree with their judgment, however. It's inconclusive. Walker did get the first down on the previous play. That time he lost maybe a yard. Olkowitz again on the tackle.
You know, Walker plays so many positions here. They have that full house where he's the flanker. They have him where he plays wide receiver on either side. If he plays with Dorsett, he's the fullback. If he plays in Dorsett's place, of course, he's a tailback. And how he learns all that stuff, I'm not sure.
Well, I think that's another tribute to the man. The fact that he hasn't been to training camp or didn't spend much time in training camp, the clock ran out, it took too much time. And the fact that he has been able to absorb all that.
Well, I think he's one of those guys that as a coach, you like to spend time with because he's so enthusiastic about it. You know, the coaches were telling us last week that, you know, he's there, he sits in the front row of every meeting. He writes down everything that's said. He gets there 10 minutes before the meeting starts. He's the first guy in the room. And when you got that type of attitude, and then, of course, that type of ability, that's the guy you like to coach.
All that, and he's 6'1" and 228.
and runs faster than most people in the world.
Fuller retreats quickly, steps up into the pocket, trying to buy some time. Gets it out to Mike Sherrard, and he's out of bounds by Barry Wilburn. Fuller, I think, has more mobility than anybody thought he had.
He has more mobility than most quarterbacks in this league, and then the big thing is after he uses the mobility, he has a zip on the ball, and he throws the ball harder. I know we were talking last night about how it's taken the receivers a little time to adjust because, as you see there, he throws a harder ball than Danny White. He has more zip, and the receivers, they felt this week really got a better feel of Fuller.
3rd and 4. Redskins coming on a blitz, and Walker coming on a draw play, and he will get close to first down yardage. Good call. Vernon Dean made the stop. Walker got 6.
Well, it was a good call because what they did is they're going to have the blitz here. They got the blitz here, and they just pop right through here. I think that the Redskins were expecting a pass. You see the blitzers come up. They're going to hit right up the middle. They get a trap. They trap the blitzer, and then that was all Walker needed to get through there for the first down. But that's not a bad play. You know, that's the old split 6 blitz where you blitz in the center guard gap, and a trap has always been a great play against that.
We get the 2-minute notification with the Cowboys leading the Redskins 30-6. It's 60 minutes. A happy little American boy used to be a starving little African boy. Midwest couple saw him on 60 Minutes, and they went and got it. Following 60 Minutes, of course, it's Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, followed by the TV movie Circle of Violence, a family drama starring Tuesday Weld and Geraldine Fitzgerald. That's all coming up here tonight on CBS. Unusual circumstance for that last first
Well,
down.
it was. You know, they had the blitz, and the trap was a good play. But I think they meant to block like this and then trap here. But they also pulled this guard. So the guards crossed against the blitz, and then they just got in there. But watch, both guards almost collide right there. Watch right there. There's all 3 of them. Then they come out, and the thing spots right there. Look at that. Boom! Look how that split open there.
I've never seen a play like that.
I don't think that one's in the playbook, but maybe it will be.
A fake to Walker. Fuller is chased. Throws in the direction of Newsom. Just trying to get rid of it. Charles Mann was walking along with him. St. Louis won its first game for Gene Stallings. Cardinals and the Buccaneers now have the same record, 1-5. That's the final. Here it would appear as the way the standings will look. Redskins 5-1. The Giants, who play later, 4-1. Dallas moves to 4-2. Giants play Philadelphia. Eagles are 2-3, and the Cardinals now 1-5. 7, Fuller back to throw. Outside intended for Newsom, incomplete. No flags. They'll have to punt.
Well, then going into today's games, there were 3 undefeated teams, right?
Now there's 1 less.
Looks like the other 2, of course, being the Chicago Bears and the Denver Broncos.
And the Bears are in a struggle now with Houston. It's 14-7. 17-7 make it as Kevin Butler has just kicked the field goal with 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. So they might make it.
That's at Houston, isn't it?
Right.
That's a tough place for a team like the Bears to play.
Ken Jenkins back deep. Snap to Saxon. He gets off a good kick that doesn't quite turn over. Jenkins handles, fumble. Hard punt. Manny Hendricks. the recovery, a guy who hasn't played football since high school. He's a basketball player, and he's going to keep that agate.
Hey, because he hasn't had one shaped like that before. As you said, he was a college basketball player. Cowboys signed him as a free agent. They said he has natural defensive instincts. That's not bad, but you know, you look at it from the Redskins side, and Joe Gibbs was saying that we're a blue-collar team. We just can't make mistakes. If we make mistakes, we can't win. And I think today they're proving their point.
Well, after the dismay last week in Denver, today the Cowboys have some happiness on their sideline. Let's go back and look at just what John Madden was talking about. The miscues that the Redskins have made today. 3 turnovers, 3 missed field goals, 5 penalties for 89 yards. And to top it all off, they missed an extra point.
And then I think even to top that off, they had some guys wide open like an Art Monk and Jay Schrader throwing it over his head. Now that'll call guys like this to get that burning, you know, you get right above your belly button there.
Sometimes it gets below there. Here's Walker again. Herschel around the corner. Herschel gets down to about the 26. They're just trying to run it out now.
Of course, they played without Bill Bates today, their starting strong safety. He had an ankle. I'll tell you, that Dallas offense was really something. Tom Landry's waving there, and he's a lot happier, Tom Landry, today than he was yesterday.
He certainly is. He wasn't very happy yesterday. He started 2 new offensive tackles. He was, as you say, without Bill Bates. And they were buried right down close to their end zone at the start of the game. It looked like Washington would take over with its safety or perhaps in great field position, and all of a sudden they got out of there and wound up winning 30-6.
Well, you know, that whole team, that whole Cowboy team was a lot tighter yesterday, and even when Tom Landry says it's critical for us, you know he means it's a big